All right, today I want to share with you 13 signs that you might have too much stuff in your house. I can pretty much say I've had all of these at one time or another. Most of these are very personal to me, and I think that you'll find some of them in common with you as well. Number one, you have piles in the corners of your rooms. Mostly for me, this is in my bedroom because I'll clean up in the living room or I'll clean up the kitchen and I'll take stuff to the bedroom to kind of get it out of here, to get it out of the space where I think most people would see it. And then I don't know what to do with it. I don't have a permanent place for it. And so it ends up in a pile in the corner of my room. It drives me crazy. It's like I can never get rid of the piles. I move them around, I change them up, I put something away, but something else gets added to the pile. Please tell me I'm not the only one. If you have piles in the corners of things that you don't know what to do with, oh, please. Number two, flat surfaces are filled with items. I have a desk, a dresser, a counter, a nightstand. All of these flat surfaces tend to collect items, don't they? It seems like no matter what I do, I'm constantly trying to get stuff off of the flat surfaces in my house. And when they are cleared off, everything looks so much cleaner, right? When you clear off those flat surfaces and there's not things that don't belong there, everything looks so much more tidy and cleaned up. It's like a magnet. It's like things tend to gather there. And it's really because they don't have a home. Like if there's a place for them, unless we're just being lazy, if there's a place for them, it's pretty easy to go and put them where they belong. Number three, if you have to move items from your couch or your chair or your bed in order to sit down or lay down, there might be a problem. Things tend to gather on these places also, like clothing and toys and blankets and all kinds of things, right? But if you're having to constantly slide something over in order just to sit down in your house, it's a problem, right? It's a problem. And again, it's either you're just being lazy or you don't have a place for it. And 9 times out of 10, it's because you don't have a place for everything. At least that is how it is for me. It's because I can move it, but I'm moving it from one spot to another a lot of times, or moving it to my pile in the bedroom maybe. Number 4, if you have to pick up a lot of items off the floor before you mop or before you vacuum, chances are that is why you procrastinate and you don't get the cleaning done. It's not the cleaning. It's not the activity of cleaning the floor that takes so much time. It's the prep work that you have to do to get to the floor, to clean the floor. That's what it is for me a lot in the past. Like I would have to move so many items and pick up so many things before I could vacuum, move the piles from the corners or whatever, get all the shoes off the floor, that it would take me so much mental energy just to think about what I had to do before I could vacuum that I didn't want to vacuum. When in reality, if things are tidied up and things are off the floor already, the vacuuming itself doesn't take that long. Same thing with mopping in my kitchen. I would have too many items that I had to move in order to mop the floor that I thought the thought of mopping the floor, I was like, it just felt overwhelming. And it's not the activity of mopping the floor, it's the prep work again. So if you feel like that, if you have too many things on the floor, then it feels overwhelming to clean. Even the surfaces, the same thing goes there. If you feel like it's too hectic to clean in your house, you have too many items. Number 5, if you cannot close the dresser drawer or you cannot fit another item in your hanging your wardrobe, you have a problem. I used to have this problem a lot, and I would end up keeping piles of clean clothes on the end of the bed or somewhere else because they did not fit in the space I had allowed for them. And it's a frustrating thing, right? Because you want them items to fit and you want to put them away. You don't want them sitting out, so you want to put them away, but yet you can't. So once I decluttered, I used the container method. I don't know if you've heard of it, where you have a certain space available for a certain item. And once you have too many of that item, you have to let go of some of them. For instance, if I had shorts, in a dresser drawer and they don't all fit, I have to get rid of some. This is the space for my shorts. So if they don't all fit, then some of them got to go. And if I bring in more, I've got to get rid of some of the ones that are in there because this is where they're going to fit. And you can do that in all kinds of areas of your house. Just have a container, a space for that particular thing. And if it doesn't work, I do this with my kids with toys. You can have this many stuffed animals in this area and this, and if they don't fit, you've got to get rid of some. And if you buy some more, then some of them are going to have to go. And this seems to work really well, especially in that area of like clothing or toys and things like that. Number 6. This one's kind of funny to me, but I added in because I've done it. If you store items in your car, in the trunk of your car, the back of your car, because you don't have room in your house for them, you might have too much stuff. And now again, this really happened when I moved, and I moved to a smaller place and I didn't have room for everything, and I put some stuff in storage, but there were things that I still needed to access, or I thought I needed to access, and I had nowhere for them, so they were in my car. Some of them were like craft supply things, like really things that ultimately I didn't need so much, but I thought I did, or thought I didn't want to get rid of them. So for a while, I stored things in my vehicle. Do you do that? Do you have things stored in your car just because you don't have anywhere else for them? Number 7, you're fearful of having someone drop by unannounced. Totally me. This has been totally me for many years of my life until recently. Fear, somebody knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell. Have you ever run and hidden? Have you ever like dropped to the floor, crawled out of a room, turned off the TV, turned off the light really quick, got really quiet, told the kids, shh? Have you ever done this? It's awful. It's an awful, in all honesty, it's an awful feeling to know that you're just too embarrassed. You're just too embarrassed to bring somebody into your home because of the clutter and the junk, and it's not cleaned up and it's not picked up, and it's a disaster. And you're just fear. It's fear. And you shouldn't have to live like that. And I did for too long. And now that I've decluttered, my house is not always spotless. I am totally still working on this decluttering journey. Please do not think I'm an expert here. The pictures, the things you're seeing, the things I'm talking about, is because these are the things that have happened to me and are still happening to me. But once I've decluttered enough stuff so that I'm not afraid to answer the door, this was huge for me. I mean, I have stuff around right now. There's some stuffed animals in a chair over here. There's a laundry basket here that I've got to move. I mean, it's not perfect all the time, but it's not so embarrassing that I'm afraid to open my door. And so if you know how that feels, I want you to hear me and know that you can get a hold of this and you can change that. It is not a good feeling. It is not a good feeling to be that fearful of somebody stopping by. All right, number 8. It takes you too long to get dressed in the morning. The reason why is probably because you have too many things in your closet and your dresser drawers. And so you go through them all and you pull things out and you try things on and you don't like the way they look and you put something else on and it doesn't fit right. And you spend a lot of time doing this. And not only do you spend time doing this, but it really can put you in a foul mood for the day. I mean, like if you tried on 16 outfits and 15 of them didn't work, you're not going to be in a really happy frame of mind for the day. I mean, I wouldn't be. So once I've decluttered my closet and made it a lot simpler for me to get dressed in the morning, and I know that everything in there fits and I like everything that's in there and there's not a ton of stuff to have to go through, it's made my life easier. It really has. And I don't miss having 48,000 choices anymore. Okay, number 9, laundry baskets. How many do you have, and are they full of things that are not laundry? I used to have 3 laundry baskets, and I had one that was always beside my laundry room full of things that had nothing to do with laundry. It was like a storage tote or something. I don't know. And then the other ones were always full of laundry that needed to be folded, or laundry that needed to go back and be reheated so it could be folded, or folded items that I haven't put away yet because I don't have enough room in the dresser drawers to put the clothes. So what I did personally is I got rid of them all except one. I have one laundry basket. And what that did for me is it forced me to use the laundry basket as it's the intended purpose, right? I put the clothes in it when they're dry. I take them to a place in my bed or my couch and I fold them and I put them in the basket and I carry them to the room where they belong and I put them away and empty it so that it's ready for the next round. I don't have one sitting there, an extra one that can just collect clutter. All right, number 10. Too many just in case items. Let's think. Like an example, You have camping equipment, but you never go camping. But you might go camping and you would like to go camping, and you know people that go camping, and camping sounds like fun, but you don't go camping. But you keep it just in case there's that occasion where you might go camping and you might need it. Or you have a travel luggage thing for the top of your car, but you don't travel. But just in case there's a time when you need that item, you have it and you've stored it. This is the kind of thing I used to do. I would keep a lot of just in case items because I felt like I'm going to need this item one day. And when I finally let go of these things, I have found that there have been 0 items I have missed. Now, I know people have said, there's people that say, well, I did miss this one thing or I missed this 2 things. But even if I missed 1 or 2 items and I wanted them again, I could borrow them. I could buy them again if I really needed them. But the freedom of my mind and the freedom of the space by not having the items far outweighs the fact that I might need it one day. So just think about it. If it's easily replaceable, if it's something you can borrow, if it's a just in case item, you probably don't need it. Number 11, spending too much time looking for something you know you had, but you can't find it. For example, a tape dispenser. You know you have tape and you're about to wrap a gift and you can't find the tape, and you search and you can't find it. So what do? You go and you buy more tape, right? Because you need the tape. And then you put that one away somewhere, or it's under a pile of clutter on your desk. And then 2 months later, you need tape again and you can't find it. And so you keep rebuying things that you already know you have, but you can't find those items. So you purchase them again. You may have too much stuff if you're doing that. Number 12, you're paying for storage. Guilty. Okay. I moved a couple of years ago. The house that I'm in now is very small. I'm renting, and there is no attic, there is no basement, there is no outdoor storage in the backyard type of thing. So I really didn't have the space coming from a larger home. And at that point, I was not on a decluttering journey. So I wanted to keep everything. So I did get storage. I will say, I am happy to say that since then, since I started my decluttering journey, I have gone to my storage and I have decluttered a lot of things out of there. In fact, I've gone from a larger storage unit to a very small storage unit. And basically what I have in there is seasonal items. I have Christmas totes. I have some spring decor. I have seasonal type things mostly. A few keepsake items. But I hope to get rid of it all eventually. I know I'll be moving to another place at some point. So I do have a storage. But listen, if you've had a storage space that you've been paying for years and you don't even know what's in there, chances are you really don't need the items. You really don't. Okay, and number 13, we have expired food and expired medication. If you have expired food in your pantry, it is because you don't know that it's there. It's so pushed back and hidden under other things that you've let it expire and you haven't used it. Again, this comes into play when you go and buy a can of corn and you have 6 cans of corn in the back of your pantry because you didn't know they were there and they were expired. Medicine is the same thing. I've had both of these in my house before, and it's really sad and embarrassing almost to think that I let food or let something expire without using it just because I didn't realize it was there. So try to get rid of those expired items and not let them expire again. That's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to be more vigilant about using what I have, knowing what I have before I go to the store, not rebuying, not letting things go bad. All right. Those are my 13 items for today for signs that you might have too much stuff in your house. I know there's probably a lot more, and I'm sure you're probably thinking of some right now that you could add to that list. Tell me in the comments some other items, some other things in your house that tell you that you have too much clutter. I would love to hear from you. Thanks. Peace. See you next time.